Okay, so just wanted to quickly go over my async week project, which utilizes primarily the phaser library to make a simple, endless 2D game. So, a little background about phaser. Effectively, it's just a set of library tools which you can use to effectively make like a 2D type game, typically like a side scroller. It handles a lot of the mechanics and things like gravity, et cetera, et cetera. So this game is essentially just a endless jumper in which you have to jump on the platforms, and each time you land on a platform, it bounces you up. So um, there was a lot of like tinkering to try to figure out the gravity levels. There are also like a plethora of different like backgrounds and animations that you can basically take advantage of in order to populate the background, as well as the sprites and the characters, as well as the platforms, et cetera, et cetera. As you can see here, my platforms are a little bit not consistent, so I'm not able to jump as high enough to reach this one. But the premise of it all is through Phaser, you have the ability to set up specific scenes. In this case, this is the game scene in which you're able to set up some logic within the Phaser class to be able to create a game board, as well as the platforms, as well as the ability to control like gravity and the amount of force in which the character bounces when he does land on a platform. Additionally, there's also logic that you're able to write in which you like when you continue to go up and move up into the app or move up in the screen, you like new platforms will basically populate and the old ones will kind of like disappear. Additionally, because this is a game in which you're only supposed to be going up, there is additional gravity logic in which if the character is if the character sprite is more than half off the screen, then it needs to reappear on the other side. For instance, if I jump over here, I end up over here. And yeah, so there's a lot of different functionalities. It's a lot of playing with the gravities, as well as the randomness and the logic in which how you want the pillars to actually populate. In this case, obviously, I need to tweak the logic even more because I'm not able to jump here and make that next leap. But you know, the entire premise is to be able to stay alive as long as possible. And obviously, there's also a game over mechanic as well. So if I jump and my character is a certain distance away from the last pillar, it then activates a new scene, which is just game over, which you know would reference the game over screen. So there was a lot of hours spent to try to actually make this work. But I think there's a lot of like room for improvement in terms of what I want. Obviously, want to introduce a score system. So whether it's each time I land on a platform, I get points, as well as maybe adding some sprites or some other additional like stars or something like that, so I can collect those, or carrots or something like that. If I collect those also add to the score. More logic that I would like to add to this is maybe increasing, maybe having the camera moving at all, like moving a little bit faster, or having the platforms move so that you know they're not static. So then you really have to like aim your landing. Another functionality I can also add is maybe the ability to, instead of just bouncing off each platform, maybe add an up key, a press up key, which then actually simulates the jump motion. In terms of like scores, I can add something where I can have a high score database. It seeds back into, you know, actual SQL Server when you put in your name, and then you play the game, and then you score, and then that name and that score will populate, and then kind of have like a high scores list. Also want to be able to create different scenes. So I want to have like an intro scene, right, where you just press start to play, or you hit enter to go into the main menu, in which you can see scores or maybe change characters. The one feature that I also like to add is the ability to maybe make this cross-platform. So you're able to race to the top, or something in which you can just have a multiplayer aspect to it. But yeah, this is basically the premise of the project. Again, it's a lot of phaser, JavaScript, some basic HTML. I want to be able to utilize React a little bit more to see if how I can incorporate that, as well as the states in terms of like changing between the different like game scenes. But yeah, so basically this is the premise of it. Just a simple side endless scrolling game.